Okay, so we get online here, we'll do the flag salute.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we're online. If everyone would join me in the flag salute, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Beth is on his way, 50 minutes late.
I was trying to see John. I'm sure I messed it up.
Okay. Did I see Matthew Quick out there?
Quickly.
And Eric Bailey?
Bailey, yep.
Come in, gentlemen.
Doing some.
I've asked us to put on the agenda, open discussion regarding masks. How do we address public buildings? How can we address public buildings? How do we want to work with our employees? How do we want to do it? So I asked every one of you to be here because I think it's important you're involved. You're very involved in this building and other buildings as well. So I'd like to just open up the floor for general discussion. Your opinions, what we should or should not do with masks. Patty?
I'm willing, we don't mask in our office. We haven't had a problem with COVID this year, or in the last few months. We had it all last year. But most of my department's vaccinated. I do have a couple of people. I'm open for what everybody else wants to do. We do have the shields up, the sneeze guards and stuff like that, so.
Okay, Matt?
I mean, we won't do them in our office. We're a good 8 to 10 feet away from each other all the time.
Okay.
So,
So you have pretty good social distancing from the
Yeah, I mean,
citizens that come in? Same way with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Eric went mandatory mask, didn't you, because
Right.
of the closeness of your people?
Right, and it did pay off for us. Had an employee that actually was there Monday, had a mask on, got a call 45 minutes to an hour later that he had been direct exposed, so.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I certainly believe it's everywhere this time because of the type of virus it is, and that might be a plus overall for us getting herd immunity someday. But Liam, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think we went by what the health department had recommended, and it's only been highly recommended. And I had a little discussion with Eric yesterday, just, trying to figure him out what he thought. And I think it should be up to the department heads.
Yeah.
What they want to do.
Ashley?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with what Linda said. I think it should be up to each department head. And, if you make it mandatory, your department, I think your employees will cooperate. If you don't, it's certainly a volunteer basis. If people come in these doors, we can't enforce it, so. I mean, we just can't do it. We don't. Yes, Bill?
That's the reason why we have it here. So my question is, for you three, what is gonna be your choice while conducting commission meetings? What is gonna be required of you? Because
Well-
that will make it a determination, I feel, is that, let's look at it both ways. If you choose to wear a mask, and I choose to come in here to conduct business, are you gonna leave it up to, as part of the thing, are you going to allow or make available some type of communications through the turtle for somebody to call in who chooses not to wear a mask but still wants to conduct county business?
Well, we've always had the phone acceptable for anyone that wants to call in and talk, and they can contact us through Shane on our website. Many
Or get on the agenda.
get on the agenda and then call in. If they're on the agenda, we call them, certainly.
Well, here,
Yeah.
I'll just use myself as an example. Like, we're just playing devil's advocate. You guys choose to say, okay, we are gonna wear masks here in the commission room. If you want to conduct business, you have to wear a mask prior to coming into this room. Let's say I have a choice that I don't want to wear a mask, but I still want to conduct business. I feel as an elected official of this county, I should have direct contact during county commission time to have some form of communication to call as I'm watching, this is a concern, or if I'm on the agenda and it's my time, that would give me the opportunity to communicate with what's going on.
I agree, Bill. I'm not ready to start wearing a mask every day, and as long as I'm not wearing one, I'm acceptable to the public coming in to see it. Now, if it gets really, really carried away, like I did think it did last time, I'll start wearing a mask, and if you step inside that door, you'll put a mask on.
Well, Jim, one of the things that I've been paying attention to is is from the national level, and they're telling us that cloth masks are really it's not effective. They're really trying to put out that KN95s and N95s and 3-layer surgical masks are the only way
Yeah.
to really protect yourself because of the type of transmission on this virus.
Yeah.
I'm like you, it's gonna be a voluntary thing.
Yeah.
If you wanna do it, fine. If you don't wanna do it, no.
So to
If
answer-
you wanna come up here,
Yeah.
and speak to the public, put your mask on.
Yeah. To answer your question, Bill, unless something drastically changes, well, even if it changes, we'll always be accessible to the public or other elected officials through internet, mask, phones, or something. We're not going to shut this meeting down unless it's a national emergency of some kind that you tell us or Will tells us or something. But does that answer your question, kind of? I mean,
Yeah, as long as there was a line of communication.
Yeah.
During county
Yeah.
commission time, that somebody is able to reach out
yeah.
and to discuss, instead of in person, but by some
Yeah.
form of other communication.
Well, our phone's always on. Contact Ashley, you can contact Susan, Eric.
I have another question, and I
Okay.
apologize, back into the mic since I don't want to establish it. Maybe this would be a question towards Shane. How many phones can actually be called in at one time through the Turtle phone? Have access?
On the conference bridge?
if there's-
Over 100.
Okay, so if there's 100 people with the code that wants to call in, we'll be able to reach them.
But I can do like 250 on Zoom.
Wow. That's pretty good. Okay, yes, Bobby?
My question, so that we're all clear, I think that it's great, we're leaving it up to the department heads and the elected officials. But just so that everybody's clear, and I want to be clear, if an office has to shut down for COVID, I'll say it, and you guys or the commission did away 2 meetings ago or last meeting with COVID pay, so if that office shuts down, the employee's either gonna go without pay or they have to use sick time and or vacation, correct? Whatever will help them cover that.
That's my understanding
I
today.
think we're gonna have a discussion later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the possibility of COVID pay later this meeting.
Oh, so
We wanna wait till Clifton gets
there's
here.
more to come?
Page 2.
All right.
Always more to come,
I
Bobby.
just wanted to be clear for everybody.
Well, I know it's
And the
concern
employees,
because
too.
we have some new employees that don't have any sick leave, so.
Right.
It's a concern.
So I have some that fall under that.
We're on
And-
the same page as CDC, we change our mind we have to change our mind
Yeah.
every half hour.
And we all know how difficult it is to get new employees.
Absolutely.
Very difficult, so, okay, we're gonna leave it up to the department or elected officials on their individual departments. And then we'll talk later in this meeting about any type of bringing back the COVID pay. We don't know where we're at on that. We need Clifton here, but if you wanna join us a little bit, I'll call you. Or you just want me to let you know, you can come back to listen. So, okay, anything else? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh. Which one, this one, under Bill? Oh, this one here? Oh, I'm sorry, I had them all here too, didn't I?
That's all right, that's all right.
Okay,
You're still here.
are we gonna do that under my time? Try to do it now,
Yeah. Yeah, it's that one.
under my time, or now?
I don't think we're gonna be here.
We'll get them back.
Yeah. Can we go?
Yeah, okay. Get them all back under commission time.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing you all.
Okay, I want them to listen. Let's talk about this. Okay.
So I move we approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second,
There you
any discussion? All in favor?
go. Aye,
Aye. Motion carried.
cool.
Mr. Bailey?
All right, start off with, we have a extension permit for an entrance tube for Russell Feld at 2431 Jayhawk. Where there's a new structure, they want to extend their drive.
Quite a house, isn't it? Quite a shop.
Yes.
May we approve the culvert extension for 31 Jayhawk?
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bill, I just requested Ashley, Bill, that during the commission comment, whenever want to come back in, we're going to talk about this agenda request form, all department heads, elected officials. That way, if you'll come back or hang around to them, please. Thank you.
All right. Just to let you know, we did have a small winter storm last week. We did brine. A little hesitant on brining due to as cold as the temperatures was gonna be, but we went ahead and put some down, and then we came in that following morning, 5 o'clock, just to make sure we hit our hills, intersections, and bridges. So I didn't hear of any issues, so I think that's went well. I see they're calling for another small storm this weekend, so we'll probably do the same.
Okay.
Not supposed to be as cold, so
Yeah,
we'll try and get the brine out. And,
I agree. I think the road looked good, so thank you.
yep, yep. Birch Road, we have started on that, filling in the ditches. They're around 4 or 5 foot deep on the sides that have washed out, so we're filling those in. And we're gonna raise the road up a little bit, gotta put a crossroad tube in, and then we'll haul gravel back in. Still waiting on DWR to decide what we can do for the low water crossing, what size tubes would be required to put in there. So
Good.
that's kind of where we're at on that one, but I did want to let you know that we did start yesterday. Next one, truck 14607 Freightliner, discrepancy 0607. Anyhow, was losing some antifreeze out of it, what have you. Make a long story short, we took it up to inland. They went ahead and filled it back up, put pressure to it, and we have antifreeze blowing out the turbo. It's got a Cat C11 motor in it. I'm gonna have them go ahead and at least tear into it so they can identify exactly what the problem is, and then we'll have to make a decision what we want to do as far as the motor. Because we're gonna look somewhere between 25 to 30,000. That's just an estimate on the repair, so.
Yeah. Is that one of the newer Freightliners or the old business class? Small?
I'm not sure on which
Okay.
one it is.
Doesn't matter, I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
I know it's got like 245,000 on it. It's what the.
Two Freightliners county bought new, and them other two come out of Georgia used, but they've
Yeah.
been pretty good machines. so-
Yeah, I think it's the two that we have left,
Okay,
so.
We had trouble with those, the diesel part of that, and Freightliners for like a number of years. I don't know
Yeah.
if we got rid of those two or we kept the ones that wasn't giving us so much problems.
well, we had a total of 4 of the newer Freightliners and 2 of the old business class Freightliners. And believe it or not, the 2 older ones was better trucks than the newer ones
Right.
because this way they was spec. So I expect you still have 4 Freightliners total, don't you?
No, we only have 2 dump trucks that are Freightliners and 3 Max.
3 Mac.
So it's the 2 dump truck, it's,
One got a wreck, I know that.
yeah. So it's 146 if that helps you any,
Okay,
on which one that is. So, and then 145, we took it down to get the cylinder rebuilt. It blew out the ends, gotta have that redone. So just to let you know on that, we took it to Fleet Pride in Joplin. 146 is in Inland in Kansas City, so.
Yeah. yeah, we really need to talk about 30,000 on that engine,
That's right, yeah,
but
so. But I wanna know exactly, is it
Yeah.
a head gasket, is it a cracked block? What is the,
sure,
what are we dealing with? Or is it something completely different that's,
yeah.
I was hoping we get more than 250,000 miles out of a truck, a diesel truck.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another, I mean, that's, diesel, that is kinda low miles compared to some of them
Yeah.
I've seen, so.
Okay,
Anyhow, I will be bringing that back to you, just giving you a heads up
Okay.
on that. We had our refresher course scheduled for this Friday on MSHA training, and that has been canceled due to COVID protocols, so. Next week, we had PubWorks software training scheduled, that has been canceled due to COVID. Just got an email a while ago on that, so. Windmills, due to the weather being very nice here and what have you, they are drawing to a closure of the construction phase. They have sent me a video, provided me with a post-construction road study or a video, so I'll have pre-construction and post-construction to go through and review the roads and cross tubes and things like that. So I'll be putting together a punch list items on that and following the road use agreement that's in place. So I just want to give you a heads up on that and let you know.
Okay.
But they are winding down. The weather has cooperated very well with them, and they are moving at a high rate and
Good.
finishing up the construction phase. So
And I just remember what we did, we traded those Freightliners in on them Max.
is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they're not there.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm old, I forget. so.
Hey, you was throwing me for a little bit of a curve because I only
Well-
knew of there were two being out there, and I was trying to think the other two. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
That's-
yeah,
We trade them in.
Max because they're built for these kind of roads.
Yeah,
Okay.
I built heavy duty.
okay. So, anyhow, that's basically where we're at right now. Anything for me?
Well, of course, it's up to you, something you might think about, Eric.
Yep.
As you move forward with reviewing this truck, and you make a determination when replace,
Yep.
repair, you might start looking in the areas of, is it possible to find a good used Mack?
We have searched and because we
Yeah.
have it in the budget for one in the bridge.
Yeah,
It's
pretty tough. isn't
pretty
it?
tough, and their trucks right now are super high,
Yeah,
just
They're
like your
premium.
vehicles.
it's like pickups and everything else.
Yes,
Demand, supply and demand. so.
right.
Okay,
Also, one more thing that just popped in my head here. I think it's scheduled for around 10:30 or 11 o'clock today. Our two Sterling and the other old bridge trucks auction off today. So
that going pretty good?
Sterling's up to about, I don't know, right around 9,000, and then the bridge truck's around, I want to say 2,000-3,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
So
they'll climb 30% the last hour,
okay,
usually.
okay. So
Okay, thank you.
anyhow, just letting you know that.
Okay.
Anything for me? Okay.
I don't have anything. Thanks again for the snow, ice removal.
Yep.
Everything looked good in my area.
So I've got that one, we'll make sure it's on the list there at the 75th and Maple on the northeast corner.
Is that the bridge?
Nah, it's a ditch that the gentleman wants some work done on it so he can mow it.
Okay,
But it's rock, it needs to be cleaned up to where you can actually clean it, keep it mowed. It's on a corner property in the house. It's been out there for a couple of years.
okay. We'll look at it.
Might be one of those that you can incorporate when we're doing the grant work at the pond out there.
Okay. Okay,
Since we're gonna be there anyway.
all right. I'll take a look and see what we can do.
Thank you, Eric.
You bet.
Okay,
Thanks.
this is mowing / snow removal bids for medical building. Have we brought that back up to the table, have we?
Yep, you tabled it, and so we'll bring it back up.
I don't know if we're ready to move on this yet, are we?
I don't think so.
You can table it again.
Let's table it for mid-February.
Okay.
See what develops between now and then. How about that? Is Justin?
Yes, sorry.
Did you have an opportunity to review this resolution or?
There's two words, there was a misspelled word and a change in the first paragraph that,
Well, this is a new one she just handed me, or you still got to change something?
I don't know what she's saying
Oh,
to you.
you haven't, you didn't get one?
That's what
I'm
Lon sent
sorry.
me on Tuesday. I
Yeah, this
emailed
is
on
the one,
Tuesday
this is the
afternoon.
one I saw.
It's been changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been changed. See anything in there, Lynn, that bothers you? You see anything in there that bothers you?
The arbitrary was added to the top, the second to the last paragraph, and the misspelled word on the last paragraph was also changed, so
Okay.
it's good.
See the original. I make a motion to adopt Resolution 05-22, Bourbon County, Kansas, a resolution in support of the rights of private property landowners. Do I need to read the whole thing?
You want me to?
Oh, yeah, if you want to. I don't want to.
Okay, but it's been modified from what was originally proposed solve, but
Okay.
whereas the Board of County Commissioners support the rights of private property landowners to do as said owners sees lawfully fit on their land. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners support the rights of private property owners to reject any and all arbitrary interference from local, state, and federal government entities or their affiliates. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners support the rights of private property owners and reject any arbitrary attempt to take any land from private property owners. Be it therefore resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of the Bourbon County, Kansas, to support the rights of private property landowners to do as said owners see lawfully fit on our land and reject any and all arbitrary interference from local, state, federal governmental entities and or their affiliates. Be it further resolved that the Commissioners support the rights of property owners to reject any arbitrary attempt by any governmental agencies or their affiliates to take possession of land from private property owners.
Okay, I made a motion, Clifton, just for discussion. Justin approved this.
That'd be
So-
correct.
It's been corrected. You gotta have a chance to read it there.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Say
Aye.
aye. Motion carries. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Sheriff Bill Martin. Pardon?
Susan.
Susan? Bill's up on the agenda. That's good.
Okay.
What is it?
Go ahead.
Back in July, I requested for a grant through the small rural and tribal body worn camera programs to apply for, like I said, a grant for new body cameras for the deputies and stuff. The release date was July 7th of 2021. The submission date was August 31st. Basically, the deadline to get the application submitted for approval. December, just last month, on December 29th, I received a letter through email congratulating me that after receiving nearly 1,000 applications, we are very impressed by your agency's commitment to its body-worn camera program. You have been selected to receive a grant pending the completion of a few more administrative questions, forms, and other necessary documents to create your award package. So, the award grant document must be completed by January 31st by midnight. So I've been going through the application process trying to complete it so that we can move on with the body cam grant. This grant is a 50-50 match, so the grant will pay for 50 and I will be responsible for the other 50. Since the meantime of what is taking place, when I was up here last, things change, technology changes and stuff. So I'm here to ask in regards to this grant. Now, how this system works, or how an in-car camera system and body camera system works, is that when you activate your emergency lights, your in-car camera comes on, as well as your body cam camera. It's all synced together. If you activate your body camera while you're outside the car, you're talking to somebody and somebody says something, but your camera's not activated. Once you activate that body cam, it also activates the in-car camera too. Also part of the in-car camera system is that during transports of an arrest, there's an in-car camera, there's a camera inside that's also recording any actions or verbal activity that's taking place in the car. The in-car camera is also very useful, let's say, for us responding to a call. We approach an intersection where we have the red light, the deputy slows down, attempts to proceed through safely, but gets T-boned. We've captured all that. During a pursuit, and this is one of the biggest things in regards to a pursuit, if it meets the requirement to disregard the pursuit either by the conditions or by the administration, informing the deputy to discontinue the pursuit, our policy is that you immediately turn around and go back the opposite direction. You don't trail, you don't, quote, follow or anything like that. From experience in the past, not here, but with me working at another agency, I was in that situation, was informed by a field sergeant or supervisor to disregard, which my partner and I did. The camera showed that we turned around, went back the opposite way. About 6-8 blocks later, we're down the road. The vehicle we were chasing gets involved in a motor vehicle accident with another vehicle. They were claiming that we were still chasing that vehicle. The field supervisor reached out to us, wanted to review our camera systems, which saved us from a lawsuit because we did turn around and go back like we were instructed to do so. So there's a lot of things in play in regards to a camera system, both body and in car. So I'm here before you today to reach out and talk to you. Since I got the body cam grant, I'm here to talk to you in regards to the in-car camera system. The in-car camera system, what I'm here to ask for today, either with windmill money or to allow as a down payment if there's any monies left, or giving me approval to move forward with any type of financing available so that I can purchase the in-car cameras with the body cams. Now, the in-car camera systems that we have now cannot work with the new body cam. There's two different units, two different companies, two different softwares, two different everything. So to get one, I need to have the other for it to work. So since I applied for the grant, got awarded that grant, I'm turning to you to request either to move forward with the leasing purchase of the body cameras. I will get that information back to you. The cost that we're looking at to help out is an estimate of $191,931 for the in-car cameras. You're looking at 17 cars. That includes all the patrol cars, and that also includes the transport vehicles for the jail. So whenever they're transporting inmates back and forth, it's being recorded, what's taking place inside the transport vehicle and on their ways from the jail to the courthouse. So if they get involved in an accident, you know, that can be recorded. Now, there'll be a question, what is the jail for an accident, stuff like that? What's unique about these camera systems now, it's called a pre-crash recording. Once there's some form of impact, the camera will automatically activate, go back 30 seconds, record so you can see what takes place prior to that accident to find out who was at fault. That's also is applied towards on the law enforcement side too. If there's an impact, we're just responding, somebody runs a red light. As we have a green light, we can go back 30 seconds prior to show we had the green light, they had the red light, and so on and so forth. So that's the reason why I'm here. The company that I have reached out to in regards to that is requesting I can go somewhere else, and that's fine. They're local, but it's called Kansas State Bank. It's a company or a banking finance institution here in Kansas. It's out of the Manhattan area. They specialize in municipal financing for cities and counties and state agencies, universities and public schools, fire districts and volunteer fire departments and special districts and so on and so forth. Now supposedly, and I talked to Ashley about this, and there was I guess they use the same one, I don't know. But we can't find anything, but they mentioned that we use it. So that's the reason why I'm here, is that for me to accept this grant and move forward with the body cam grant, I need the in-car camera. If you disapprove the in-car camera system for me leasing, then I will request or submit a letter to the group that awarded the grant that we cannot move forward due to that I cannot have two different systems working. For it to work effectively, you're basically putting more of a hassle on the deputy when we should be making it more efficient for the deputies when they do their job. So that's the reason why I'm here. The company that I've chosen will wait till that decision is made before the announcement's made as to what decisions that I currently have and what we are going to if we move forward with those steps. So that's all I have. Any questions?
You say finance, I mean, what, it's a lease purchase?
Yes, this will be a lease purchase for 5 years. That's the warranty of the camera systems. It's a cloud-based system where anywhere there's internet, anybody has, I wouldn't say anybody. Selected few people will have access to that site. So for an example, we can have the county attorney grant permission to go and review videos for court purposes and stuff. Everything will be uploaded to a cloud. That's the new word, cloud storage and stuff, so you can load more data and stuff on there. Evidence, it's great for evidence. It can store other videos that we have. So this company that we're going through is very technical, very high tense. And
So-
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So, the lease would be, this Kansas State Bank would finance,
Just the in-car camera system.
You have other local banks
Mhm.
that do lease purchase, that.
so what did the, I mean, do we know the interest rate? Do we,
That's what you'd have to take like a
Or-
formal,
There-
do it over the phone bid.
There is, and I can't find it, and I apologize, and I can get that information. I want to say it was like 6.9,
okay,
and I don't know if that's what the going rate is at this time for that type of equipment. But, you know, if you request to approve the dollar amount, then I will move forward with getting other bids, financial bids, for interest rates, and then I can come back next week with it.
what was it, Bill, 190?
191, 931.
This is total commitment to the county. Is it the county total commitment 191?
Yeah, and if it's a lease program, I can fit it into my budget. I feel I'll be able to do that.
Sorry.
Bill, I have a question on the body cam grant. What was the total grant amount?
Up to $25,000, but
And we're paying half of that,
No.
50%, so.
the
okay.
body cams, that money, that total amount came to $20,087. And I said from the beginning of this, I would pay half of that out of my VIN account. So basically, I'll be paying $10,040 some out of the VIN account to accept this, and then the grant will cover the other cost.
The
Has
do-
it- Has this grant been accepted?
I haven't seen the grant.
Bill, on this quote, I just noticed you got one quote. It's only one company does this at 191, 931, or?
No, there's two other companies. We reached out to two other companies. I have another grant, but it's about $8,000 more.
Okay, so you did reach out and get a second?
That's part of the application,
Yeah,
that I have to
okay.
reach out to other vendors. And the third vendor that I reached out to, I talked to them yesterday. They were supposed to update everything because part of the application process during the letter was that everything had to be dated from January 2022. All the quotes that I have received in the past from everybody was dated in 21. So I had to reach out, request the updated quotes, so they have the 2022 year. So, that's where we're at. Go ahead.
Do we, I mean, it's about 46,000 a year, give or take, 46.5. Life expectancy, any, I mean, I know technology changes tomorrow. So, I mean, ideally, you'd be able to use it for 10 years.
Well, for sure for 5 years because of the warranties and extended
Right.
warranties. If anything goes, it goes down. But your cell phone, just like a car.
I know.
Everything changes. But, it, you know.
I mean, what
that-
about, I
that's-
guess my a fairer question would be, what you have now, how long have you had it?
2015, I believe. So we're at 6 years.
Ben's holding 7, so, yeah, okay.
And so with that being said, there's a lot of technology has changed. The current
Do
vendor
you
that
have, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting
No,
you.
no, go ahead.
So, but I won't remember what I'm wanting to ask. You have in-car cameras now
correct?
in all of your cars,
Yes.
and body cams,
All
but
road
they're,
weapons, yes.
is it the same system now?
Yes.
Okay. But
Body
there was-
cameras that we have now is the same system that we have in the car, because they communicate back and forth.
But you came, I don't know, 5, 6 months ago, you may remember, and talked about body cams, about you need to upgrade them. You came and asked that, I don't know, maybe it might have been 7 months ago now.
Yes.
And I don't remember why. I guess, is there, just because of technology,
It's
clarity, I mean, is there, you know what I mean?
It's
Storage.
whatever. Customer service plays a big part. Customer service, it could be better.
Sorry,
I
he's
know, and I
raising-
know- I know
no,
the
he's
faces.
raising his hand back there like
And I
he's
know
in
that
school.
and I know what, I can see the expression on his face right now with the,
Would it be all right if Under Sheriff Cole made a statement?
I would not be responsible for anything that comes out of his mouth.
They're outdated.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
They're outdated, and the problem is now they've upgraded their other systems, so when this system that we have goes down, they don't have no parts, they have no way to fix it. Because everything is updated.
I have an Apple computer that basically is useless because it's 10 years old. So,
Bill?
And here's the other thing too, that, since you had mentioned that, the systems. Yes, our systems, today, in the past, they could not remote in to the car itself to fix whatever problems were with that system, okay? Back then, I would have to call, well, you need to go out to the car and do this. You need to go out to the car and do this. You need to go out to the car and do that. That was kind of a hassle.
Sure.
With today's systems and stuff, everything now is inside the car to where you call, then they remote in, since we have the mobile data terminals and everything be hooked up to that, then they can do the diagnosis and analysis of that system to find out what is wrong with it. They can fix it at that time. If they can't fix it, then what they'll do is they'll send an email to me saying, this is what the deal is. And that is great because 9 times out of 10, when the system goes down, it goes down probably about 10 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning when you don't have customer service.
sure.
This group here, the other 2 that I've had, that I reach out to, they have that 24-hour customer service to where if a camera goes down at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, they can call the customer service, they can remote in, fix the problem. If they can't fix it, then the deputy can send me the email, and then I'll address that first thing in the morning as to what the response is.
What
Or
about
what the corrections.
installation?
Installation. The installation that I for the cars itself, I'll be responsible for that. It's in the loan itself. I don't know, I take that back. I will pay for that separately, but each company is pretty particular with their own installers. They want their own installers with those companies to install their equipment. We have a great working relationship with a company out of Kansas City that basically knows our cars inside and out. And it's been agreed upon between the company that they will send a guy down for at least a day or 2 to show the installers how they kind of want it. And then once that's done, then they will leave and then the installers will continue on. But that's only for 1 day, I believe. And yeah. Local installment customers. So they'll install probably 1 or 2. We haven't worked out that details yet. And then it will be taken over from ours. Matter of fact, by looking at this, it is figured into the cost.
Installation, I read
Yes.
that
I
this morning
thought I
also,
saw
but
it.
I didn't want to say,
Yep.
I read the installation was in that quote.
Yeah, I thought
it
I
is.
saw it in there.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, yesterday, but.
Thought I might have read it wrong too, so.
Okay.
Bill, I'm sure the things that you look at, you've looked at federal, state grants to help with this cost, nothing out there with 191,000. Okay.
Nope.
Susan, have you put a pencil to it on how we can pay for it?
No, I have not. I wasn't.
And how much is it gonna cost us? Is it gonna be an increase in budgeting?
Yeah, it will, because you've only budgeted for 1 year.
How many years? 5?
Is that what you're asking for? These purchases 5? Yeah, so, the equipment for this year was budgeted in the jail sales tax, fund.
Yes.
And so, you would have to budget that for 5 years, which may change your numbers a little bit. So,
We ought to-
Well, that or we can just pay for it,
Right,
as
right,
far
right.
as that goes.
pay cash
Yeah.
for the lease purchase, yes.
Yeah.
Clifton, what do you want to do?
Do they have a state contract anywhere? Do they have any kind of procurement contracts that they participate in? There's some federal ones and there's also some state ones. I just wondered if they gave you their best price.
Yes, we are going to be the second agency or office in the state of Kansas that will have this. So we're kind of the beta group. And the other sheriff's office that signed on, because they were real pleased with the equipment, and that's Franklin County.
Franklin County is getting ready to sign on. Valley Center north of Wichita already has it. And what does be the second one, they got like 25, 20 to 25 that gives.
Well,
One of the questions I would have is, we continue to run into this, that when it comes to the annual basis, is there any annual fee for the software?
Yes, there is going to be a fee because of the cloud base.
Do we know how much?
Oh.
Did I hear you guys talk about pilot money?
Bill mentioned it.
Pilot money? I didn't, if you did.
Yeah, you know, that's something we should look at, or pilot money. This is certainly an important item for our law enforcement officers, protect them and protect us and protect the citizens, their rights as well. So, you know, we do have pilot money coming in the future. So we still have some in the sheet you gave us last week. That's ARPA money, I'm sorry. Pilot money's coming today.
Decision-making, this is.
Looking at the contract itself, the GTAC VS management software, redaction, transcriptions, it covers all the software and the redaction. That is for the 5-year plan, because we are setting it up for 5 years. How I look at it, but I will clarify that to make sure that that is correct. And that's kind of what kind of gets you there, is the software, the updates. So.
Susan, one deal on this, for the total pilot fund expected, I think it's gonna be 365 this year, not 407. I think 407 was the first year.
And we're also transferring 250 to the general.
That's what we've said. So you're looking at let's say, the contract for the wind generation, one of the things I remember was the first year was 407,000, and every year after that was 365.
That I don't know, so let
Well,
me
I
ask
know.
Justin.
Yeah, I
That's
think
one of the
that's
things I'd like
right.
to know.
Yeah.
Is the second year contract for the wind generation
Smaller, it's the second one smaller.
Okay, so then that's probably right, so I'll have to adjust that.
Okay, that's
This
fine.
250 that we transferred to the general, that was sustained budget increases and pay raises,
And help to reduce your levy.
reduced levy. Do you expect that every year, that number?
Yes.
Be the same?
Yeah.
Okay. You think it's 364, you think?
Well, no,
Something like
365.
365?
For 9 years.
Well, gentlemen, I'm in favor of going forward with Bill's request. Certainly, we have to keep all of our equipment updated, and speaking all the years in Public Works, it was always, if you get very far behind, it's a struggle to catch up. You never get caught up, so.
Oh, it is.
One of the things that I would like to see is put it on the next week's agenda so Susie can run the numbers,
Okay.
so we know exactly what we've got.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I think it's a great thing to do, but we just need to know we have our financial house in order.
well, I mean, it's pretty clear that if we help with the wind fund money, it's gonna,
Complete.
So does that give you enough time though, Bill?
Yes, I still have like I said, till the end of the month to finish everything.
So if we,
If you want to table it now, give me time and I'll reach out to other local financial banking
Okay.
institutions to
as
see
long,
if they
I
want
mean,
to.
make sure that gives you plenty of time though to get
yeah.
it.
I think due to the circumstances, and I think if I send out a letter either later on today, if I hand deliver them to the financial institutions, then I think probably a week
Okay.
would be enough.
No, I'd like to
Well, I
see-
mean, it's enough time before the end of the month for you to get,
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I got one, I think there's 3 sections, I got 1 completed, and I have 2 more to go.
okay.
The other thing I'd like to make sure is that this 191,931 is a lock-in figure.
Yeah, I'll verify that.
When you do your bids with the banks, be sure to indicate on there that, you would like bids to be given back to you based on whether or not you're paying monthly versus yearly, because it could change your percentage.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do request when I go out for bids for cars or anything else, what a yearly payment is and what a monthly payment is. That's just a standard rule that I've done since I've been elected as sheriff and doing budgets.
Okay. So I ask you to put a table until next week, and then we'll come back with some good finance numbers, and
Okay.
we'll talk about it again. Thank you.
Thanks.
There is one other grant, did you guys approve that?
No, we didn't talk about it, is it? Bill, there's another grant on the agenda. Do we need to talk about it today? Are you prepared to?
Go ahead.
Well, it's the Kansas Criminal Justice Coordinator Council grant for $113,292. It looked like it's for 12 months. I guess as a commissioner, is this one we talked about a little bit last week for the new employee or the transfer being a detective or something like that, or?
That is the grant. That is the grant, JAG grant that I made the announcement on back in October.
Yeah, okay.
To hire 2 additional personnel in regards to drug investigations. That's going to be their sole purpose. There were certain steps that we had to go through. We met those criterias. The new position started January 1st. After talking to the administration with Ben and stuff, we kind of came up with a little hiccup. And so since the grant will run out in October or September, I believe it is, it's a 1 year. September, that left the remaining month of October, November, and December left without monies from that grant. But how we work the schedule or the employees, we will not be filling a position. That position will be left to cover for the remaining year of this year, 22. And then when it comes budget time, discussion of that, we will bring that up to show, okay, this is what we've done. We were allotted X amount of employees this grant was supposed to cover too, but due to the financial, which I will take responsibility for, I'll take ownership of it. We need to discuss other, options when we start talking about budgets for the 23 year.
Okay.
But we did have a conversation with Susan. My understanding with Ben present, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, it can possibly would work based on that one position not being fulfilled.
Okay.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So you okay with this?
Yeah.
Going forward, we always have to look 2023, 2024, if they're new employees, where the money's coming from, of course, but.
Any other questions?
So we gotta pass this, don't we?
It's just good practice so that you guys have shown that you support the grant and this contract.
Would have a really grant number. I'm not,
Do you want me to read it to
One
you?
of the things we have to look at continually is next year, when it comes around the budget time, if we go over, the budgeted figures for 2021, for 2022, for 2023, everyone will be mailed a notice that we've exceeded that threshold. So it's taxpayer dollars, and we have to notify people if we're gonna spend more.
And one thing about grants, especially this one here, and any grants, I mean, I just presented a grant to you. We don't know when those grants are gonna be approved. Okay, it can be approved in September, October. It could be approved in December. But the problem is, there's certain requirements that you have to meet to fulfill those obligations for the grant. So when it comes for budgetary purposes and stuff, and it's on my last budget that I submitted, on the last page, down at the bottom, it does mention the 2 detectives. So that's something to figure out. So when the grant was approved, let's go back and look at it and review it. That's one thing about grants. They never are in line with county financial because of how our budgets are set up. Sometimes they're either October, sometimes it just depends on the entity of who's applying for the grant. But for us, our financial period, which everybody's aware of, starts January 1st to December 31st. And I don't know when I'm gonna be approved a grant when I apply for it. So that's something to take considerations, and I've done that before in the past with my past budgets. When I apply for a grant and I haven't received any information, if I've been awarded or not, it's going to go into my budget to say, apply for grant, just like I did this last time. So we're all on the same page that there's a grant that's floating around there, and if adjustments need to be made one way or another, it can be made.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly in favor of getting grants. Every grant that we receive, sure, Public Works, we have to work with Susan and make sure the future comes along, we can find the money to pay for it.
You know, I wish I, you know,
And the sooner the better, so we can be prepared.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
naturally, this year, you're gonna have to start sooner, because of the new law, the revenue neutral rate law. You have to have certifications to the county clerk very early in June, and usually we're doing our budget during that time, so we're gonna be starting those probably in March.
so seeing that,
Well, I can see there's gonna be some significant increases in 2023, the way that we're headed.
Yes, if you continue to fund, you know, extra positions and things like that, you'll have to really consider that when you're doing your 2023 budget.
Consider it.
well, like I said, you know, when it comes to grants, you know, I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish everybody in this room would have a crystal ball saying that this is when the notifications are gonna go out in regards to the grants. The grant that you're discussing right now, I think that's about a month behind of notice because of everything that was going on. Because I had asked several times, when's notifications going out? Because usually that's kind of odd when that came out. But, you know, I'm not going to argue with the state, especially if the state is giving us money. It's your wheelhouse. I'll play by your rules.
Sure.
But it hurts us at the local levels how to budget. So like I said, it's a practice of mine to put whatever grants I have in there so that even the current grants that I have, like the school resource officer, it's listed as a grant, as a position within the budget. But anyways, that's
Are all these
later on.
grants included in the audit?
So let's just clarify some things. On grants, you don't have to budget those.
Right.
They are not a budgeted fund. So if he hires 2 more detectives onto his crew and it's paid out of his fund, the grant will reimburse his fund and you can exceed your budget by the amount of the grant. You do not have to do a budget amendment or anything like that. You can exceed the budget by the grant. So the only concern that the commission should have is future years, 2023, 2024, how you're going to fund it. So as you start your discussions for budget for 2023, that's something that you need to consider. If it's really, you know, if it's a big impact for his department, then, you know, that's probably, he's gonna make a strong case for it. So,
Certainly something we have to take into consideration when we're doing our budget process.
yeah.
Who's coming off grant money and who's gonna get paid from the county
Yeah.
payroll, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Do you want me to highlight the grant number there? You see where it's at? It's something 2021, something.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. It's 16
You
point,
want
oh yeah,
it?
20, 40, yeah, I say it right here. I'd like to make a motion to approve Kansas Criminal Justice Coordinated Council Grant 22-JAG-01 of the amount of $113,292 to be used for drug and treatment and enforcement.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I've been asked to amend it. Amend the agenda to add Robert Harrington on here for NRP program. That's a motion. I hear a second.
I know we intended to allow Rob Harrington time to discuss what?
NRP program.
NRP program.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Rob?
Rob? You're up.
Going quiet
NRP program?
Going quiet over there.
Good morning.
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 You probably don't have this, so I'll pass this along. I'm here to request that the county commission agree to pass this interlocal agreement that's going to be with the city of Fort Scott Community College, the school district, Fort Scott School District, which just passed this last night, and the county commission, which would reenact the city's neighborhood revitalization program.
So we went through this a few years ago with our NRP program. Yet,
Yeah.
every taxing entity that you want to get their approval.
It wasn't re-upped when it was supposed to be back in 2020. It should have been actually done in 2019 before it was up in 2020, but it wasn't, and so we have to go back through all these steps instead of just re-upping it. We have to go and get all the entities to sign off on it. So, but
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to allow Chairman O'Hare to sign this interlocal agreement.
Chairman Harris.
O'Hare Harris. To allow Chairman Harris to sign the interlocal agreement for the NRP program beginning January 1, 2022 and expiring December 31st, 2026.
I hear a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
All right, moving along the agenda, county councilor comment.
I do need an executive session for 5 minutes for attorney-client privilege, contractual issues, but I also want to talk briefly about the tax sale, just to kind of give you guys up to speed, so whichever you want first. We might as well go into executive session and then come back out.
A short break.
Short break's even better. We'll do that.
Okay. Short break.
glad somebody does.
It's not very much, just how you count it.
How's the birds been?
Good. Wichita West, I don't want around here anymore.
Right.
Wichita West, I was up there a couple weeks ago. Two grandsons, got them on pheasant, and pretty close to them. Well, we moved 10 cubbies that day.
Really?
Yeah, pretty good day. Yep. I believe again, be tomorrow or Thursday morning, it wasn't cold. Are you in?
You got one of those pedal meters on it? No, hey Shane, Susan looking for you.
I have no idea.
I can't believe I've seen that one before.
Is Shane experimenting?
Nobody hit any buttons even when they went on break. I don't think anybody hit a button. But it was like, yeah, it was flashing through the screen.
No. Stroke, so.
That's a Samsung phone. Who's got a
Whoa.
Samsung phone?
And we're seeing all your stuff on the screen. Do you got a Samsung phone?
No.
No, me either. I got one, but it's not, doesn't look like that.
Phone in here.
I only have a 14% battery, whoever it is.
Well, it was on and then we don't know what's going on.
Oh, they're calling somebody.
Call that number and see what happens.
Who is this?
That's CHC. 9873 is CHC. 231-9873.
That was weird.
Somebody's calling CHC.
We've been hacked.
But how did they get in the system? Yeah. Yeah, that's not, wait a minute.
All right, Justin, I think we're back.
Okay, I'll just update you all on the tax sale briefly. We are ready. I did talk to Dave yesterday. He's gonna have it set up for us on Thursday. Obviously, we'd like people to wear their masks, but it's not gonna be mandatory. I will be the auctioneer. We have quite a few properties that are gonna be sold. There's a lot in the city of Fort Scott that have specials. I'll have a list for them on that day. Patty Love's office and Laura Holder's office has been awesome to work with. We'll be ready to file an additional round of parcels to be sold at the next sale, probably at the end of this week or into next week. So we're gonna go right into the next tax sale after this one's done. So we'll hopefully have another one here by March or April. So, or May, but we're gonna have hopefully April, May, and then September, October, and then we'll sell Hidden Valley lots probably in November, because they're just, maybe sell them all in one big swoop. Because they usually sell for $1 to $5 per parcel.
So, I guess when you sell the lots, does it make mention of what the fees are?
No, we don't guarantee title insurance. We guarantee a quick title. If you buy a Hidden Valley lot, I know there's an association fee if you buy that lot. I think it's like, don't quote me on it, but it's like $169, $179 a year for that association fee. So if you buy a lot in Hidden Valley, you have to pay that fee, whatever that fee is.
So we don't have to, no debt,
No.
okay.
No, the only thing that I notice is that I'm we're guaranteeing a quick title, we're just not guaranteeing title insurance, which that's between the title insurance company and the new owner. And if they want to clear the title, some people, on some of these parcels, we did get personal service, which would make the title company happier. That instead of 15 years, it'd be a year. But anybody can hire an attorney and come back in and try to clear the title to get the title insurance, but that is not our responsibility.
No.
It'd be, tax sales wouldn't happen. It would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to get personal service on everybody. So hopefully we have a good sale. There's a couple parcels on the sale that I think people are really interested in, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's some good locations on there.
A couple of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 parcels that I think people are gonna probably end up bidding on that don't have specials on them. And I have talked to Rob Harrington. We're ready to go with the land bank too. They understand that I believe that there'll be 24 to 26 parcels will, hopefully someone will buy them, but if they don't, it'll end up in the land bank. But there's 26 parcels that have a special on them.
So where does this money go to?
The money that let's just use an example, is 110 South Main Street, which is the old Scottish Rite building. Right now, the back taxes are around, well, don't quote me, like 40,000. So if the building sells for 60, the back taxes get paid off and they get distributed to the different organizations, and then the 20,000 goes to the owner. The difference in what is owed and what is sold for goes back to the original owner.
So basically, we're just selling it because they're behind on taxes.
Yes, and we've got some taxes in this case that are really behind, just because we're waiting on the land bank.
Other taxes come here, like what?
Yeah, just like
You and I pay
if
taxes, that money would come back.
Exactly. Now, that's very rare.
Right.
It hardly ever happens. I mean, usually, a parcel that
Because of
doesn't.
the fines and stuff like that, and what's owed on it.
No, the specials, I'll use an example. There's a property on Margrave that there's no specials on. It's in the city of Fort Scott. Well, if it sells for $1, that's what the person owns it for. And then at that point,
They would have to start paying.
yeah, and Matt's office gets involved with what the assessment is, and it gets back on the tax tolls and gets paid. I mean, hopefully somebody will fix it up and.
In other words, you don't make money at the first, you make money on the back end after some.
Right, because they're not paying now.
They're not paying now. So.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
So, and I'm not in real estate.
Right.
I'm not a real estate mogul. I have
Sure.
nothing to do with real estate.
Right.
You wanna talk about law, let's sit down and talk about law.
Right.
But you're saying that the taxes, like you used the example of the Main Street address.
Sure.
$60,000,
Right.
$40,000 in back taxes.
Right.
The other 20 goes to the owner.
Right.
So the back taxes comes back to the county, but is there a percentage or something that is paid to pay for the processing and everything?
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, there's
Because,
yeah,
we're being the real estate,
Right.
not me.
Right.
The county's being the real
yeah,
estate. agent here, so what's the percentage?
by statute, well, there's no percentage for the sale, but they do pay for the filing fee and the fees for the title company. So there's no out-of-pocket per se for the county.
So there is nothing paid to the county as part, like a real estate
No.
fee gets
No.
8% of the
No,
commission
we,
based on
well,
whatever.
there was a real estate agent in town that got the list and actually sold quite a few properties, which is a good thing, because it got back on the tax dolls, and then it sold, and the owner and the real estate agent probably made some money off that. I wasn't involved in any of those,
I'm
but,
just trying to, like I said, I'm not,
Sure.
don't know anything about, it, just, it seems like the county does all the work.
sure, absolutely. Well,
And doesn't get compensated
Yeah.
for that work.
well, the reason,
So-
the reason we want the tax sale to occur is that it gets the delinquent taxes back on the dole. And that, for us, we do get money. We do get money at some point.
Get on the back
Yeah.
side.
Our goal, like, let's just use that building downtown again. Our goal would be that there'd be a bona fide purchaser.
Do business or something.
And they put retail space in, or they open it back up for a theater, or they put a restaurant. I mean, to us, that's a home run. What's happened in the past, the reason the land bank is so important is what's happened in the past is that, and this is talking about title insurance, which I can't give legal advice about, and I don't represent the title company, or am I, giving them any advice at all. But in the past, what happens is if you don't get personal service on that property, the title company says, we're not going to give you title insurance until you hold on to it for 15 years. And so what's happened is that some of these properties that didn't get personal service have languished because you can't get a loan. You're not gonna fix it up. You're not gonna put any money into it. So what the land bank's gonna do is they're gonna clear that title up, try to get personal service, and then put it back into the market.
So that's why the land bank is so important.
So
I
important.
never understood what
Right.
the land bank meant and stuff. So
Right.
And
this
there's
is a good
definitely some
conversation.
costs in the land bank, so they're, you know,
Right.
they
But-
have to recoup the cost too.
Yeah, but there's,
It gets it back on the tax rolls, so then the county starts making.
Right, there's-
taxes, which brings up the revenue.
absolutely.
Assessed valuations.
The assessed valuation, so then your mills can go down.
Yes.
Yeah. Our ultimate goal is to get the mill down because we want our valuation to go up. And that's,
I'm learning something.
Yeah.
I've always wondered,
Yeah.
but I've never had the opportunity to ask.
well, that's why the valuation, that's why the assessed value is so important. And that's why getting the inventory up, like building new structures and then also having our current structures get appraised for more if the market is driven that way, because that makes your mills go down. So, same thing with sales tax revenues. If more people are buying stuff, the more money you got coming in, well, the more inventory you have, potentially the more money you're gonna have coming in so you can lower the mill. Now, we do have the NRP, which has worked really well. I mean, we have a lot of county properties that are currently using the NRP program. And that's a different beast, but 5 or 10 years, depending on what it is, commercial or residential, it dumps back on the valuation. But you want that higher investment because of the NRP usually, because you're gonna get to more bang for your buck on the front end, and then you get your return on the back end. And it makes Matt happy because he gets to go in and actually look at the house and get a real appraisal on it. Not that people do that, I'm just saying. Right, yeah. So I hate the win-win stuff, but it's good for it's good business. And that's why we're gonna have so many sales now that we have the active land bank. We're gonna try to get 17 knocked out this year, and then we'll get 18 and 19 next year. So that we'll be caught up by next year.
So the land bank, every so often you'll have sales or people say, I wanna buy that one, then they buy it from the land bank.
Yeah, the land bank has its own board, has its own budget, is controlled by that board. So if 5 people want that lot, that board's gonna pick who the best person is for that lot. So they're gonna put restrictions on them that, I'm making up restrictions, but they're gonna say, you have to have that house built in 3 years or 5 years, and it has to be so many square foot, it has to be so many bedrooms. It has to be a certain value, and if they do commercial, they can say the same thing, it can't be, trailer house, it can't be a trailer park, it can't have, pornography store, they're gonna put restrictions on what gets built. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that what the land bank does is it spurs, they actually, like neighborhoods, we have places in our community where there's neighborhoods that have a lot of houses that are vacant or they're gonna be on the sale in the coming years, and they can bundle those together and then create an actual residential project or take 4 lots and turn it into one. I mean, there's lots of like long-term planning they can do. And that's why it'd be really cool to be on that board. That'd be a really cool board to be on. Right now, I mean, there'll be a lot of work for the next 3 to 5 years.
Who's this board report to?
They're kind of their own entity. I mean, obviously, the city of Fort Scott's gonna have, the commissioners are gonna have some control over that entity, but they set it up that way so they don't get influenced. They can make their own decisions based off what they think is in the best interest.
I know you and I have worked through the issues of the land bank for quite a few years now. And it's a process.
Yep.
And it finally came to fruition. It's gonna be a good thing for both the city and the county.
Well, I think the county at some point might want to think about establishing our own land bank, but right now, I think based off of what we're seeing in the sale, we've talked to Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley is a very interesting thing. We lose money on Hidden Valley, like big time loss. We don't sell, we're lucky to get $50 for a lot out there, and then they have an assessment and stuff, and so we spend about, with time and the abstracts and everything, about $220 per lot. And so I've always said that Hidden Valley takes years to get your investment back, but by the time the 3rd year rolls around, some of those parcels that we've sold are back on the sale again. So that's another reason why if we had a percentage, they never make them.
Especially on that east side. The
Yeah.
west side's not too bad. The east
Yeah.
side, oh,
Well, that's where all the lots are on the east side of the thing. When you come up that hill and take a right, all that is, and it's constantly resold. And I get the association doesn't want those lots because they have to pay taxes on them. They don't get they're not a non-for-profit. So you have 100 lots at $5 a year. That's a lot of money for them. So Hidden Valley is an asset to our county, but there's some liabilities too that it's created, and this is one of them. I mean, we spend a lot of money with the sale with those parcels, and there's quite a few of them on this sale. So this coming year, Patty's office and I have made the decision to have a Hidden Valley only sale, and that'll be the one in November, and we'll just go through and see if we want to pull some lots out, and then if nobody wants any lots, we'll just sell them all in one big swoop. And they probably won't sell, but if they do, that's great, but
You know,
hopefully the
reason-
association
one
buys
of the
them.
reasons that they don't sell is because of the association fees.
Yeah,
Because they're gonna be charged that $190,000 or $90 every year.
per part.
Smart on the associations is to
And they're
waive
not-
those fees for the first year.
They
And
can't.
I know you've been out to Hidden Valley quite often, and you know the condition of that area sometimes.
I can't say it because I'm on TV, but.
I think we need to move on with comments like
All right. Ready to move on, Justin?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, it's nice out there. It's just that east part. I
Are
mean,
you
it's desirable. It's just a matter of, yeah, it's
It's
there.
nice lake.
Yeah.
Okay, ready to move on?
Yeah, I am. I need a 7-minute executive session, please. Attorney-client privilege. We're gonna be discussing contracts.
Make a motion to go into executive session under KSA 75-4319B2 for consultation with attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, discussing contracts, be the 3 commissioners, County Councilor Meeks, for 7 minutes. So we will return here at 10:25.
Here, second, any discussion, all in favor? Aye.
That tour piece. Quit. You're not that old.
Make a motion to resume normal session, no action.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I guess Justin, all done?
I don't know.
I guess. Are you all done, Justin?
Justin?
Are you all done?
I'm done, thank you,
Okay.
Commissioners.
Susan Bancroft. She in there? Can you see her?
First,
Rob, is Susan out there?
She's not out there.
Oh, she's with Eric. Eric wants to talk to her about something.
Okay. Pardon me? Yeah, tell her turn's up and make sure that all those elected officials come back. Okay.
I can look for her, actually.
I'll give it to you
Didn't you make those barn doors from scratch, Lynn?
what's that?
Did you make those barn doors?
Actually, they come in a kit. Come in a box, put them together,
Very nice.
and the one exterior to the main house, it came with the rails and everything, but had to cut 1.5 inches off top and bottom to make it into a regular door.
Pretty
But
neat.
yeah, it come out great.
We're all dressed up today.
We hung a shower door, and it's 3/8 glass, skipper glass. It weighs a ton. My brother Jack, you met him.
Yeah.
And I hung that sucker. And drilling the holes in that tile.
No.
It took me 3 bits to get through that tile.
Really?
And it was a real hoot. You don't have to be a 1/2 inch off the ground. You better be low.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Well, I guess we could amend the agenda and move forward.
Oh, should we got to do something.
She's MIA.
Welcome back, Patty.
during the meeting, are we waiting on somebody?
Susan?
Susan?
Can I talk to you after?
Are you familiar with the step money? Is that yours? What account should it go into?
Should be a separate line item, step.
Okay, okay,
Well, actually, it covers the overtime, so it goes to wages and salaries.
okay, wages and salaries, okay. Okay, cause it's not very much we get each time, but I've just got all these and I didn't know, okay. So, but it's yours.
The wages and salaries.
Okay. Do you get any notification you're gonna get that, or how much you're gonna get or anything?
I sign a form and it gets sent off and then it gets approved by the state,
Okay.
but I can probably reach out and send
Well,
you those.
if you'll just let me know how much you're expecting on that, so that I know, okay, this is his and I can get it. Uh-huh. Okay, well, that's what I just keep getting these little bitty amounts, and I didn't. Yeah, and I couldn't get them identified, but okay, and that's what I'd come down to, I thought, okay, good, we'll get those received.
Oh, he's in there. I don't have anything because I handed it out already, pilot funds. So, that's all I have.
Did you,
She's done.
do I have to make a motion? You wanna look at it?
Approve the contract.
Just let everybody look at it? I don't think so either.
Oh,
You're up,
you
Susan,
sign it.
by the way.
I don't have.
You don't have anything, you won't.
You had requested about the pilot funds, and I gave you that information, so
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else for today.
Okay. Very good. All right. Public comment time. Public comment, Ann? No, nothing? All right. Elected official comment? Elected official, going once?
Just wanted to let you know, something that we're doing. I have 2 deputies at the present time that are filling in positions for dispatch. So I'm paying them out of my budget salary, so that's kind of an overtime on their day off. They're needing dispatchers. They're having issues finding dispatchers. And so dispatchers are one of the most important things in law enforcement because they're basically the communications that we need. So just wanted to let you know that there'll be some overtime in regards to my budget to allow them to do that.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Patty, anything? Commission comments? I have one.
Isn't dispatch city? So how are we, I mean, the whole,
I'd like to discuss the form that we talked about a few weeks ago, the form that we want everyone to use, the Bourbon County agenda requests, and discuss that with elected officials or public department heads or the general public. The intent of this request is to give the commission more information and let us review it and become more educated on what you want to talk about. And hopefully we might make a decision that day, and instead of saying, we'll come back in a week or two, let us think about it. So this form, we're asking everyone to go through the county clerk. It's a simple form. She'll send it out with the agenda, and we'll have a chance, opportunity to study what you want to talk about, review. I think it's a fair request. It helps us educate us, and it should help you get a better response.
I think it goes out with every agenda so they can have it in the future and put on there what they want. And it does help us instead of.
Any questions or
working on things.
heartburns with that, anybody? It's just a tool that's going to help everyone.
it's basically so we don't get blindsided.
Yeah. Yeah, because we get blindsided, we're not going to say anything or make any decisions, I can tell you that. I'm not anyway, but I know these
What does it
guys.
have to be in by? Because sometimes we don't know what we're gonna talk about until maybe like on Monday, hey, this came up, we need to, that still doesn't give you enough time, but
But it helps though.
sure, I'm just.
She'll send us an update on the agenda, including this, and possibly it's something we can review it within 24 hours and roll. We hope.
I mean, it,
Prefer the Friday before, but
but if not, it's, you know,
Well,
at least the day
if the
before.
form goes out with every agenda, they have access to it, so they can use that form to put it in any future date they want.
Yes.
but if it's an emergent thing, Bobby, that's an emergent thing. I mean, that's,
Sure, I just wanna, you know, if something happens with my department or something,
yeah.
I'm following the rules.
Well, and every
It's not
time,
like it's not like we're gonna stop you from talking. So-
right. Some cases, you won't have time to get it on there, and you still have to come forward and visit with us, but
Sure.
we all can work together and educate ourselves. It's gonna be better.
If you can, we would appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you very much. That's all I have. Bill?
I'm not wanting to rock the boat or anything like that, by all means. But when that was announced, well, it really wasn't an announcement, when it was kind of brought to my attention this morning, Ben and I had reached out to several sheriffs throughout the state of Kansas through text messages in regards to a form, and I asked them, are you required to fill out a form to be presented to your commissioners before you speak? All the sheriffs that responded back to me said no. All the sheriffs that responded back to Ben, the answer was no. So this goes back to a discussion that has happened a couple of times, a couple of years ago. I mean, it was almost a knockdown, drag-out fight. Sorry about that, but I have a Ring doorbell and people are going in and out. So, don't break into my house, I'm gonna find you. But anyways, nowhere, and Justin can justify this, nowhere does it state that you cannot come and see us to discuss what issues that there are. So that when we come to the commission, at least two of you, as long as we're not meeting, you two are not meeting together, at least you have an idea as to what is going on. So I disagree, and I'm not wanting to rock the boat, but there's no other counties doing that. And what I'm trying to do is push and encourage you guys to come and talk to us, or if we call to set up an appointment, come and talk to us about things. And I think, I can't speak for Patty, but you know, Patty can pick up the phone, or, I mean, you guys are up here, I know that you're here, because we drive by and we see vehicles parked out here, so you're getting information from the clerk's office, from the treasurer's office, and stuff like that, and I know that you're asking, is everything going okay? Is there something that you're needing? Is there something that we need to do? So I'm asking in return, come down and see us, talk to us, find out what we need, or what's going on, but a form, like I said, I don't agree with it. I agree, I'm more or less apt to be more open and to discuss something in private, either at my office or somewhere else. But like I said, we've already reached out to half a dozen sheriffs throughout the state of Kansas, and none of them have requested out any forms in regards to speak to their elected official as an elected official.
Well, possibly we'll be the leader of the state bill, start it, maybe. Hopefully. Maybe everyone in the state will follow us. Anyway, I think,
I'll probably tell you, probably have close to about 400 elected officials.
yeah,
That'd be a common courtesy, just to let us know.
Yeah, it's
there's
just-
stuff coming up, you know?
it's just a
And, you know,
courtesy
it's
call.
It's a two-way street on the phone. You could
Yeah.
call Mr. Harris anytime you want to.
Yeah.
And discuss any issue you want to.
It's the courtesy form if you have an opportunity, and it goes for Andera as well. Anyone who wants to, it gives us an opportunity to review what we might be talking about, we hope, and if you can't, that's fine, but I don't think it should offend anyone that we ask them to fill that form out, and I regret the rest of the state not doing it, but if it will help us three with information, I want to move forward with it and give it a chance. You know, if you can't, you can call any of us on phone, you know that, and I can call you, ladies and gentlemen. That phone call works both ways, but if we can work together, become more educated, why not try? So, that's all I have. Anything else, Clifton?
Looks like I need to make a motion to approve, unless you guys already did it.
We did.
You did? Okay,
We did.
just need to sign it.
Yep.
Okay. No, I don't have anything.
I hear motion to adjourn.
I'll move adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I worked awful.
Did you make a decision on the COVID pay?
Oh, yeah, you didn't tell your about that.